All right, welcome back to the nimrodjaune podcast. I'm your host, Jack Wale, and welcome back. I got what taking this bitch, so I gotta make it count. Shout out to all the Apple Podcast listeners, Spotify listeners, YouTube watchers. Shout out to all of y'all. Thank you for all the support in the most recent videos. Let's get straight into it. Freedom. I was thinking about this earlier today. What actually makes somebody free, right? And I got on the topic of money. How much money do you have to make for you to financially be free? Too much money is a real thing. Too much money means that you have too much responsibility to do with the money. At what financial point is it where you have enough to where you're not struggling, but you don't have too much to the point where it's like the money is now your responsibility. The money is now your job to do. And now that you have all this money, the same process in you trying to make it is now you trying to spend it to try and reduce how much you have, if that makes any sense. So at what point are you actually free with the money? At what point do you actually get to enjoy the money and not feel like it's a burden? Because I hear all the strategies that the billionaires do, like just keep investing and hold until they're and pass it on to their children. That sounds so stressful to me because now I'm worrying about the stock market and I'm having to do all these calculations without having, I don't want to say any security, but if it plummets, I'd have to pray it come back up when I'm alive. I feel, let's go outside of money. Now we on power and just social standing. I feel like a dictator is one of the only positions in life where freedom is, where they experience the closest thing to freedom. Meaning, I feel like freedom is the ability to, without the restriction of, and you can fill in the blanks, right? So with that being said, you have the ability to do whatever. You have the ability to own this large plot of land without the restriction of having somebody tell you what to do with it, have certain things. Of course, there's law violations. There's law codes that you have to follow. But for the most part, you own this land and nobody can tell you what to do with it. That's freedom. The dictator controls all of that. So there's nothing that he can't do. There's nothing that he can't say. There's nothing that somebody could do that could oppose his power. So he would technically be the freest man, right? But I feel like with that power, you're now restricted. Because with you having that power, somebody wants it. You can't imagine being in a country with, let's say, 1 million people, and you're a dictator, meaning you are one out of the 1 million people in that country that have complete control over everything. You can't tell me the other 999 people and 999 people that's also living with you don't want that power you have. So now your life is on the line. You're now waking up and betting your life every single day on power that you possess. That's not really freedom to me. But it is, if you think about it, because they are the only ones that have the ability to do whatever without the restriction of any consequences coming back to them. They could brainwash their entire population without having the restriction of having to answer to anybody. They give the demands. I want this done. I want it done this way. And if you don't, this is the consequences. There's nobody above them that can say this is what you can or can't do. That's ridiculous to me, though. Just speaking on not even on the moral aspect, but just on the human aspect, no human should ever be allowed to have that type of power. That level of control is not for human consumption. It's not for human. It's not. It's not. A human should not have the power to have complete control over the lives of millions of people. there should be no reason a human should have that much power. Not because not because every human being is a bad human being. I just can't imagine there is a human alive that can handle that much power and does not get corrupted from it, and doesn't lean into the side that I can do everything. Nobody could tell me what to do. I am the owner of this. I just can't imagine a reality where somebody doesn't lean into that, if that makes any sense. Because I know me personally, if I was the leader of a dictatorship, I wouldn't be a good person. I wouldn't. Because I can't imagine I have the lives of everything and anything under my hands. I have probably the most money out of everybody in my country. I have the most power. If I ask for it, it's mine. I'm the ruler of whatever. Oh, I can't imagine me being a good person. I can't. And not because I like morals. I just can't visually imagine myself with the self-control I have to be placed or to be thrusted into a position of that magnitude and still be able to conduct myself in a manner that's somewhat humane. I'm not Marcus Aurelius. I'm not. I try to be my best. I try to make myself and try to reach the best mindset I can where I am. This is why, if I had to pick a man that was the most freest in a certain way, I'd pick Marcus Aurelius. Because Marcus Aurelius had, I guess, the most self-control I've ever seen in anybody. To be in that position and to do what he did is unfathomable. I just said I couldn't do what he did. So I couldn't imagine about it being back then where knowledge was limited and I was basically the ruler of the world. I'm the ruler of the world and I chose a life of understanding. And there's no way on this planet I can do that. There's no way. I can't have all of that under my fingers. I can't have all that control in my hands and I still choose understanding. Unless I seen that other life. And then I chose understanding. But to not even, I don't know if he saw it or not, but I would go under the assumption he did it. But to not have seen it, but to choose the other side, that's a different level of self-control, and that's freedom. That level of freedom, to have all that power, to have everything, but to still choose and still fight against it, and to lean onto the side where I'm going to choose peace. I'm going to try to become a better person even while having this. That's freedom. Marcus Aurelius was probably the freest man to ever walk this planet. And probably the last man that was that free, ever. Because no man since then has ever been free, I guess. Not free, but no man ever since then has been able to reach his level of status and maintain his mind like he did. Like, another person that came to my mind was Genghis Khan. Very famous, very powerful warlord, meaning people are actively trying to kill him. People are actively trying to take his head off. He's not free. He's trapped. He's a caged dog. Donald Trump, Vladimir Putin, there's people that, I don't know, but if given a chance, they might. So I don't think they're free. I don't. They could potentially, because they have all the money, the power, whatever, but they're not free. No leader of a country is free. I just don't see it. I don't see a leader of a country being free at all. He just wasn't free. He was a president of the United States. Once you reach that level of status and power in politics, you're not free no more. You're no longer free. Because at any moment, you can get JFK, you can get Abe Lincoln. Donald Trump even got shot. They got missed, but even he got shot. Like those podium state, like the speech that they give. I'm just sitting there confused. Like, they're standing there. I know they have snipers. Like, it's secured. But sometimes I'll see it. And I'll be confused. I'm like, he's surrounded by people. But they're all far away from him. So he's isolated in a group environment. Anybody can touch him. Anybody could shoot him from someplace. Because they know where he is. They know where he is. It's Donald Trump. He's the president. His location is open wide when he's giving a speech. So, it's so like the Charlie Kirk situation. Not having to speak on who he is, but just the situation in general. How that happened is what I expect, or how I would always see it. There's no way you're speaking to a crowd of people and you're somewhat isolated and there's no danger there. There's no way. Like, I can't imagine, like, the artists, I see them on stage, 30, 50,000 people in the venue. And they're just in the middle of the stage jumping around, performing a song. There's no danger there? I believe if you are notorious or famous or have some status in some way, you are no longer free. Because you're too accessible. You're too seen. Everybody can interact with you, if that makes any sense. Like, you have to go outside, and what I mean by that is the amount of people that see you at one time can vary from a couple hundred to tens of thousands of people. So your life is no longer the same where I may meet a few people every day, or I may see the same people every day too. I'm seeing people I will never see again for the rest of my life. And that's on the thousands, potentially daily. You're no longer free. When you have that level of status, freedom is out the window. And if we're really being honest, once you reach that level of status, you a monkey in some regard. Especially if you're an entertainer. If you're an entertainer, you a monkey. You're here to make me smack. You're here to make me laugh. You're here to you are here. Your job is to distract me from my life. Make me laugh, monkey. What do you mean there's something wrong with you? Why is my monkey not making me laugh? What is wrong with my monkey? I need to go find a new one. Because my monkey can't make me happy. He can't provide me with a sense of escapism, I guess. He can't provide me with a sense of escape. What's wrong with my monkey? That's how I look at entertainers, seriously. They're people, sure, but because of their job, they're an entertainment monkey. Like, all the content, like, we have a lot of great content creators. We have a lot of great book developers, all manga writers, everything. They're all entertainment monkeys. We're all bound by this contract sort of where we're just here to entertain. We're just here to just, like, all of this I do, this is nothing. I'm an entertainment monkey. I enjoy my position. I love my position. But I understand. I'm not doing it. This ain't nothing special. I just tell my story. I tell what I see. Some people may like it. Some people may not. But then, as soon as the video finished, we all got to go back to our real lives. I speak about mine, I guess. But when the camera cuts off, I got to go live it. I have somewhere to be right after this, actually. I'm not free. At all. I've never been free. Freedom ain't never been a reality for me, ever. I thought I was. There was a time I thought I was free. But nah, it was brief, I guess. It was like a brief sense. I was going somewhere to go have some, you could say fun, or just to get something for myself. And everybody around me, I was on a bus, and everybody around me had a different area that required them to be there. I didn't. Like, this person's going to work. This person's going to school. This person has to get groceries for the family. I'm going to get Pop-Tarts and face wash. I was like, oh, I'm free. I've never been free in my life. Freedom is not a real thing to really ask for. Freedom and liberty. I guess I'm speaking from an American perspective, but I guess this is the only perspective I can speak of, because it really don't get no better than this. Realistically, it don't. Being in America, I could travel. It's better to live in other places, but as it goes, I think America's maybe top 5, top 10 in places just as a whole for opportunity. It's top 5, top 10. Not places to live, but it's top 5, top 10 in general.